नमस्कार, I am Haricharan Singh, TGT Science from Kendriya Vidyalaya Babina Kent. Today presenting Chapter 12 Sound. Every day we hear sound from various sources like human, bird, bells, machines, vehicles, television, radio, etc. Sound is a form of energy which produces a sensation of hearing in our ears. There, so the production of sound. There are also other form of energy like mechanical energy, heat energy, light energy, etc. We have talked about mechanical energy in the previous chapters. You have been taught about conservation of energy, which states that we can neither create nor destroy energy. We can just change it from one form to another. When you clap, a sound is produced. Can you produce sound without utilizing your energy? No, we cannot produce sound without utilizing energy. In this chapter, we are going to learn how sound is produced and how it is transmitted through a medium and received by our ears. So, for the production of sound, we set up a activity. Take a tuning fork and set it vibrating by striking it on a rubber pad. Bring it near your ear. Do you hear any sound? Touch one of the prongs on the vibrating tuning fork with your finger and share your experience with your friend. Now, suspended a table tennis ball or a small plastic ball by a thread from a support like the given picture. Now, suspend a table tennis ball or plastic ball by a thread from a support. Take a big needle and a thread. Put a knot past the thread through the ball. Touch the ball gently with the prong of vibrating tuning fork. Observe what happens. You will observe in the glass of water that the both prong of vibrating tuning fork dipped in water. It makes waves in the water. You can see very clearly. From the above activities, what do you conclude? Can you produce sound without a vibrating object? Absolutely no. In the above activity, we have produced sound by striking tuning fork. We can also produce sound by plucking, scratching, rubbing, blowing, shaking different objects. As per the above activities, what do we do to the objects? We set the objects vibrating and produce sound. Vibration means a kind of rapid to and fro motion of an object. The sound of the human voice is produced due to vibration in the vocal cord. When a bird flaps its wings, do you hear any sound? Think how buzzing sound accompanying a bee is produced. A stretching rubber band, when plugged, vibrates and produce sound. If you have never done this, then do it and observe the vibration of the stretched rubber band. Next one is propagation of sound. What is propagation of sound? Sound is produced by vibrating objects. The matter or substance through which sound is transmitted is called a medium. It can be solid, liquid, or gas. Sound moves through a medium from the point of generation to the listeners. When an object vibrates, it sets the particles of medium around it vibrating. The particles do not travel all the way from the vibrating object to the ear. A particle of medium in contact with vibrating object is first displaced from its equilibrium position. It then exerts a force on the adjacent particle, as a result of which the adjacent particles get displaced from its position of rest. After displacing the adjacent particle, the first particle comes back to its original position. This process continues in the medium till the sound reaches your ear. The disturbance created by a source of sound in the medium travel through medium and not the particles of medium. A wave is a disturbance that moves through a medium when the particles of the medium set neighboring particles into motion. They in turn produce similar motion in others. The particles of the medium do not move forward themselves, but the disturbance is carried forward. Only disturbance is carried forward. Particles not move forward. This is what happens during propagation of sound in a medium. Hence, sound can be visualized as a wave. Sound waves are characterized by the motion of particles in the medium and are called mechanical waves. Air is the most common medium through which sound travels. When a vibrating object moves forward, it pushes and compresses air in front of it, creating a region of high pressure. This region is called compression, and you can see it is denoted by C, as shown in this figure. This compression starts to move away from vibrating objects. When the vibrating object moves backward, it creates a region of low pressure that called rarefaction, as shown in figure R. As the object moves back and forth rapidly, a series of compression and rarefaction is created in the air. These makes the sound wave that propagates through the medium. Compression is the region of high pressure and rarefaction is the region of low pressure. Pressure is related to the number of particles of medium in a given volume. More density of particles in the medium give more pressure and vice versa. Thus, propagation of sound can be visualized as propagation of density variation or pressure variation in the medium. Next one topic is sound needs a medium to travel. We know that sound need medium to travel. We can organize a activity for this. We take a bell jar, an electronic bell, and a vacuum pump, and set up these like the given picture. Bell jar experiment showing sound cannot travel in vacuum. Sound need a medium to travel. Sound is a mechanical wave and needs a material medium like air, water, steel, etc. for its propagation. It cannot travel through vacuum, which can be demonstrated by the following experiment. Take an electric bell and an airtight bell jar. The electric bell is suspended inside the airtight bell jar. The bell jar is connected to a vacuum pump as shown in figure. If you press the switch, you will be able to hear the bell. Now start the vacuum pump. When the air in the jar is pumped out gradually, the sound becomes fainter. Although the same current is passing through the bell, after some time, when less air is left inside the bell jar, you will hear a very feeble sound. What will happen if the air is removed completely? Yes. Will you able to hear the sound of the bell? No. You cannot hear the sound of bell when air is removed completely. So it is proved that sound need a medium to travel. Sound waves are longitudinal waves. We know that the waves are two types, longitudinals and transverse wave. Sound wave are longitudinal. For this we will took an experiment. We take a slinky spring and ask your friend to hold one end. You hold the another end. Now stretch the slinky as shown in this figure. Then give it a sharp push toward your friend. What you notice, if you move your hand pushing and pulling the slinky alternatively, what will you observe? If you mark a dot on slinky, you will observe that the dot on the slinky will move back and forth parallel to the direction of the propagation of the disturbance. On the other hand, a transverse wave particle do not oscillate along the line of wave propagation, but oscillate up and down about their main position as the wave travels. The region where the coil become closer are called compression, and the region where the coils are further apart are called rarefaction. As we already know, sound propagates in the medium as a series of compression and rarefaction. Now we can compare the propagation of disturbance in a slinky with the sound of propagation in the medium. These waves are called longitudinal waves. In these waves, the individual particles of the medium move in a direction parallel to the direction of propagation of the disturbance. The particles do not move from one place to another, but they simply oscillate back and forth about their position of rest. This is exactly how a sound wave propagates. Hence, sound waves are longitudinal waves. Here are some questions and answers. Explain how sound is produced by your school bell. The answer: school bell starts vibrating when heated, which create compression and rarefaction in the air, and sound is produced. Question number 2. Why are sound waves are called mechanical waves? Answer: since sound waves do not since sound waves do some mechanical work while making disturbance in medium, hence sound waves are called mechanical waves. Question number 3. Suppose you and your friend are on the moon. Will you be able to hear any sound produced by your friend? Yes or no? Simply, we need medium to propagate sound. Since sound wave require medium to propagate and there is no medium present on the moon, so I will not able to hear the sound of my friend on the moon. Next one, which wave property determines A. loudness, B. pitch? Answer: amplitude of sound wave determines loudness. Louder sound has greater amplitude and vice versa. Frequency of sound wave determines pitch of the sound. Thank you.
Transmission of sound. Every sound is produced by a vibration. Vibration is the back and forth movement of an object. As you speak, vibrations are produced by the vocal cords in the throat. You can hear only when the sound energy reaches your ears. But how does sound energy travel? Wonder how that works? Come, let's go across to Dr. Zook. Sound energy travels in the form of sound waves. There are mainly two types of waves: transverse wave and longitudinal wave. Let us see how waves travel. We can use a slinky spring to observe both types of waves. Emily is holding one side of the slinky, while Dr. Zook is holding the other end. With a quick upward flick of the wrist, Dr. Zook has sent energy traveling through the slinky. Notice how the slinky moves? This is a transverse wave. In a transverse wave, the particles vibrate at a right angle to the direction of the wave. The wave traveled from Dr. Zook to Emily and back. Now let's see what a longitudinal wave looks like. Emily is holding one end of the slinky, while Dr. Zook is pulling its other end towards himself and then pushing it towards Emily. Watch closely, and you will notice that some of the coils crowd close together and then slowly move farther apart. This is because the vibrations are parallel to the direction of the wave. If the wave moves from right to left, then the particles also vibrate from right to left. This is a longitudinal wave. Sound waves are longitudinal waves. These waves travel at different speeds in different mediums. The medium could be a solid, liquid, or gas. Now let's see how this works. In a solid, the particles are very close together. Sound energy moves as one particle hits the other particle. With the particles being so close together, sound travels quickest through a solid. If we look at particles in a liquid, they appear to be slightly further apart when compared to solid. Thus, sound energy takes a little longer to travel through a liquid. Look at the particles of gas. They are spread out, and hence, sound waves travel most slowly through them. Now we know how sound travels in different media. The vibration of particles produces waves. Wavelength is the distance between two consecutive compressions or rarefactions. The number of waves passing through a point in a second is called frequency, and it is measured in hertz. Sound waves travel in all directions.
Emily?
Sound gets reflected. That is, it bounces back on hitting a solid surface. Bouncing back of sound is called echo. Bouncing back of sound is purposefully used in detecting depth of seabeds. That's amazing, isn't it? Summary: every sound is produced by a vibration. Vibrations are produced by our vocal cords when we speak. There are two types of waves, transverse wave and longitudinal wave. In a transverse wave, the particles vibrate at a right angle to the direction of the wave. In a longitudinal wave, vibrations are parallel to the direction of the wave. Sound waves are longitudinal waves. Sound travels quickest through a solid. Wavelength is the distance between two consecutive compressions or rarefactions. The number of waves passing through a point in a second is called frequency, and it is measured in hertz. Bouncing back of sound is called echo.